Good morning. This is episode number 27. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of listening to your body. I've always been a person that has never complained about anything physically. I feel that I've been very healthy. Um, I hardly ever get sick. And even when I do get sick, it's very uncommon that I fall on bed and lay there for days. I feel like I'll be in bed for a day, but for the most part, I'm still very active. Um, this, I was aware of this situation even before it happened, and it's actually something that because I heard about it before, when it did happen, I was more alert. So, one of my really good friends does Reiki sessions. So, she invited me once. This was back in late March, early April, I believe. She invited me to a session and she did the Reiki session for me and it felt really good. It was really peaceful. It calmed me down. And after the session, she gives me, of course, feedback, and she was focusing on my chest area. She said, "There's a lot of there's things going on here." Um, the way that I in the way that we, I guess, interpreted that was that I was holding in a lot of things, and it made sense. There was a lot of things going on here at the house, at work. So I'm a person that I do keep stuff in before I even talk about it or explode. I'm not that type of person. I try my best to analyze it first and then talk about it. So it made sense. So that was that. In a future video, I will talk more about what Reiki is, and hopefully, I can invite her so she can tell you firsthand what it is. It's really good. I recommend everyone to try it. Maybe like a week or two after that, I had a cousin here from out of town, and this was a Sunday. I decided to take him to downtown area, downtown Dallas, so he can get to know the city. And we had a good time. We were outside the entire day. We had a great dinner. And then that Sunday night, I got to the house, and I remember that I fell asleep normal. Everything was normal. But around 2 in the morning, I woke up to this sensation in my chest. It felt like everything inside was burning. It reminded me of that feeling whenever you are out in the sun for a long time and then your skin gets really red. It felt like that. But the thing here was that my body from the outside wasn't red or anything, or I could touch it and it wasn't my body. It was definitely inside. So I got a little scared. I know that I had like an anxiety attack, and whenever I was going through that anxiety attack, I reminded myself to breathe, and I got over it and I fell asleep really good. Everything was great. But I did tell myself, tomorrow I need for you to make sure that you make a doctor's appointment so you can see what this is all about. So the following Monday, which the next day, Monday, I made an appointment with the doctor, and he said I have a next opening Monday. So it was a week from that Monday. So for that week, I modified the way I ate. I was eating more clean, more veggies, of course, only water. So that sensation did minimize. It was still there, but it wasn't as bad as that Sunday. The By the time I got to the doctor on Monday, the sensation was, of course, here in my chest, but it also was in my stomach and I think a little bit on my liver side. The doctor did blood work. Everything came out great. He did tell me you need to lose weight. I think that that's gonna help. So I was like, perfect. I can do that. And then he gave me some pills, and he said that I was gonna to try the pills and see how that worked. So I tried the pills for maybe 2 weeks, and that feeling was still there. So then I messaged the doctor back and I said, um, that feeling is still there, and I really haven't seen any improvement with the pills. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna give you another medication, which is kind of like a syrup, and it was going to smooth my esophagus and all that. So I had that medication, and that medication was for like same like 2 3 weeks, and I really didn't see a difference. But I did notice that if I ate super clean, it was better. But the moment that I began to eat like something fattening or something that wasn't really healthy, that's when it began to flare up. So I started to make like very distinct changes. I think that I started doing like fasting. So I began to eat at lunchtime, like around 12, and then I stopped eating like around 5:30, because before I think I would eat up to bedtime, and I would always like there's moments where I would have really bad acid reflux. So by me stopping at my last meal like around 5, I was really it I didn't feel heavy going to bed. So I would stop eating at 5, and then by 7 I would go walk every day. I would walk around 3 4 miles, and of course I would drink water all day long. So those were the changes that I was making for my day to day, and overall I felt good. I still had a lot of energy. I didn't stop doing anything as far as activities. And then that it was a discomfort. It has never been a pain. Fortunately, it's never been a pain. It was this discomfort. So I messaged the doctor back and I said, "Hey, the symptoms are still there." And he's like, "I'm gonna have to connect you with a gastro something doctor." So he did, and then the following day, I made the appointment, and I he took me in, the specialist. And whenever I sat with the specialist, she was like, "It could be that you have gallbladder stones. It could be." She was more focused on that, so she was like, "I think it's that." So she's like, "I need to do it. We need to do a sonogram, and we need to do an EGD, something like that, where you go down my throat." So she sent my request for the sonogram, and this was a Friday. So on Saturday, I was able to go in to get the sonogram. So I went to go get the sonogram. They were going to take a look at my esophagus, my stomach, my organs, and so that I went to that appointment. It was, you imagine a like a dark room, and it's just me and this technician, and she's putting this gel on my body and going over it with the wand. And um, so this was Saturday. So on Monday we were off, and on Monday we had brunch. My sisters and my mother and I and my nieces. So that Monday the results came in. The results came in and everything was good. Everything was perfect. They did notice that I had a fatty liver, so I needed the way that I was going to treat that was by changing the way that I was eating. Um, they were giving me suggestions on what to do. So then I was like, okay, perfect. Thank God that was that. And then in that moment, the doctor was like, well, in 2 weeks you need to come into the office so we can do the camera down your esophagus, which was yesterday. So then yesterday early in the morning, my sister took me to the appointment, and I went in very calm. I didn't carry any stress. It was just I got there, I laid down the way that they needed me to lay down, and before I knew it, I was out. And then I woke up and I was already in the room with my sister, and then The doctor was there and he was like, everything looks good, everything looks perfect, so you can go. So then I, came home and I was at here at the house all day, pretty much resting and asleep. I feel like the anesthesia was still in there, so I wasn't alert. And I even got sick from it. So luckily everything's good. I think that the only modifications that I need to do is with the way that I eat, the way that be more selective with the things that I'm putting in my body. And we have to realize that we're getting older, so things that I could eat back when I was 20 or early 30s, maybe I won't be able to do that now that I'm approaching my 40s. And if I really do consider how I ate, not only what I was eating, but how I was eating, um, I'm a person that I'll serve me a huge plate, and whether it's something healthy or not, like if it's food, I'm gonna eat a lot of it. And now I have to be more mindful and do more like smaller portions. Take my time whenever I'm chewing it, and of course, I really haven't. I really don't drink anything but water, so I just maybe need to increase the amount of water that I consume. And I think another good point that they brought up was my stress level. Like I really need to stay away from unnecessary stress. I feel like I've been a person that I adopt a lot of situations that don't even belong to me. So I need to make modifications when it comes down to work, because I do get stressed at work simply because I don't want to let anybody down, and I don't want to let my, I guess, superiors down. But I'm more important. Like for me, like I need to take care of me. And then here at the house, same thing. Like I need to focus on me. Like I put my life on hold forever, so I need to really be mindful of what brings me peace and brings me that tranquility that I need. And to be honest with you, it's and not because I don't have anybody that is willing to be there, but myself on purpose, I've kind of like this. I've kept this to myself. Only a few people know, and I recently brought this up to my sisters because the last thing that I wanted to do was worry anybody without knowing what it was. And trust me, whenever you're alone in these situations, it really does remind you that we are here alone. Let me, of course, rephrase that. Like, I was, I did that on my own. Like, I on purpose decided to keep that to myself. I know that if I were to open up to more people, I would have had a lot of like support. But there's moments where you need a hug, you need some words of advice, and there was moments where I just needed a hug. And I recall that um, one day, one of my guy friends came and hugged me, and I really wanted to like just like break down because his hug made me feel very like protected. And he didn't even, I mean, of course, I didn't say anything or I didn't bring anything up, but thank you for that hug because that really made me feel much better. Um, that day when we were in brunch and I got the results, I was like, I can't be sick. I can't afford to get sick. I need to be strong for my mom, for my sisters, for my nieces. And I just have this feeling that everybody looks at me like this very strong person, and I am. So for that reason, it was really difficult for me to open up about what I was going through. I really hope that everybody doesn't wait until these situations to prioritize your health. Luckily, I just need to modify the way I eat, the things that I put in my body. But for a moment there, I was like, what if I get like news that is something worse or something that It's I wasn't scared. I was like, well, I want to know what it is so I can know what steps I need to take, and I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna attack it head on. But more than anything, it was the idea of seeing my family witness all that and begin to at some point take care of me. Like that's something that I don't want. I need to. This was definitely an eye opener, and to be honest with you guys, I have health insurance, and it's been very pricey. Like from the consultations, the medications, from the procedures, I've easily spent over $1,000, and I can't imagine individuals that don't have health insurance. And it's so easy. Like you just walk in there, like, okay, it's gonna be this amount, and then you're like, okay. Luckily, I had it. Luckily, and those are big amounts, and you just realize that I'm very blessed in a lot of aspects, and thank you. And that money will come back. I know it will. And but whenever you have that in your head, where you can potentially be very sick, or it can be something worse, you begin to think to yourself, and you begin to be honest with yourself. You're like, I haven't done this, I haven't done this, and I haven't done this. So hopefully now that I know that everything is okay, I'm very glad that I was able to listen to my body, and I picture myself with this same situation years back, where I probably wasn't even paying attention to what was going inside. I would probably have ignored all those symptoms. But now that I like connect more with me, and I'm just like, oh, that doesn't feel right. Like I mentioned, luckily it was never a pain. It was just a discomfort. And so I'm gonna continue being very mindful of what I feel and what things trigger that feeling. Um, on purpose, one week I was feeling good, and I was like, I wonder if I eat something fattening, if it's going to flare it up. And I remember I went to go get a burger and some fries, and yeah, sure enough, I started feeling that discomfort. So I'm like, okay, I just need to be mindful. Not that I won't be able to eat that, but I need to be maybe like take my time eating the food. And whenever it comes down to you feeling any type of way, any pain that you might feel, please, I urge you to visit a doctor. Make it a priority to have a annual visit to your doctor, where they do blood work, where they take a look at everything. That way you know where you stand. One of my goals is to be so alert and um, in tune with my body. I want to know, like, what foods are going to make me feel good, what is going to make me feel bad. um, I want to know, I just want to be very conscious of how my body reacts to certain things. I feel that a lot of the times there's emotional situations that are linked to physical symptoms, and I want to kind of connect that to see why it flared up all of a sudden. Like I mentioned, I've never been that type of person that I feel anything. Like I never feel pain or discomfort, or I feel like good. um so I knew was something didn't feel right. And but at the same time, it wasn't preventing me from doing anything else. Like I still had the urge to eat. I still was able to walk every day. I was able to just be myself. Yeah, there was moments where I felt like I was disconnected, because I was like, what is going on? Why am I feeling this? Why do I feel this? But other than that, I everything's been the same. It pushed me to kind of step out of my comfort zone. I was able to go eat by myself. I was never able, like, that was something that I would never do. I attended the Pride Parade by myself. Um, I go on these walks by myself sometimes, and I really enjoy nature. Like, I appreciate every little moment. There's moments where I'm having a good conversation with someone and I appreciate it. There's moments where I'm here at the house and I'm very grateful and thankful for everything. So it does open your eyes and it reminds you that we're not here for a long time. And like I mentioned, if anything that you feel that doesn't make sense or doesn't feel right, please pay attention to it. Don't ignore it. Go to your doctor visits. Take care of your health. Don't wait until these moments where um, you get really frightened. Really pay attention to how you are feeling and prioritize your health. There's nothing more important than your health. Exercise, eat right, and overall, take care of your stress levels. Don't surround yourself with individuals that are going to bring that stress up, or don't be in environments where you're stressed all the time. Learn how to cope with that. Having a therapist has helped me a lot. So I wish you a really beautiful week. This is the reason why it took a little longer for me to post this video, but I will see you next week and I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. And I think happy 4th if I don't see you.